Okay, the Pistons have done some really good things in the draft. I mean,
Oh yeah.
super exciting. So now we enter into free agency here coming up, and Miles Bridges just keeps coming up. So, Craig, we need to kind of break this down and understand fully if we should get him, why we should get him, all those things. So, I have three questions for Craig,
Ooh.
and he's going to help us understand better if Miles Bridges really is a good fit or if it's just a name or maybe it is. So, first question for you, Craig, is can we get Miles Bridges? I hear it floated around, but is it even a possibility? Would he even come here?
Yeah, I mean, I think short answer is yes, we can. I mean, we have the cap space that's available, which is fantastic. And he plays for a team that's pretty salary capped right now. So they're trying to bring him back. They're trying desperately to free up space. In fact, the Hornets have even been in trade rumors with us for us to take Gordon Hayward to take him off the books. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that are going on. So I think, yes, the answer is we absolutely can get him. We have the cap space. He's a restricted free agent. It might be an assign and trade to do something like that. Does that answer your question? Yes, we can get him.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
I think is on his side, it's like, well, does he want to come here? It's like, well, it seems like he would back to his home, not his home state. I don't know where, but anyway, where he played college ball. It's just, it
sure.
seems like he wouldn't hate coming here, and especially what we just did and who we've added. It's like, okay, so I just want to make sure that this wasn't just some pipe dream. And he's like, nah, I'm not going here, whatever. So the next one is, how does he fit with us? If he were to sign, how does he fit with us?
Dude, he fits with us because apparently Troy Weaver has decided he wants every athlete, supreme athlete ever created on the face of the
Mm-hmm.
earth. And he absolutely fits alongside of that. I mean, if you could think about this, you have Cade Cunningham plus athlete, right? And then you throw out there Jaden Ivey, extreme athlete, Miles Bridges, extreme athlete, Jalen Duren, extreme athlete, Marvin Bagley, phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
athlete. So I mean, like, it's just athlete, 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 athlete. You're asking me how he fits with us. That's how he fits with us. He's just another great athlete. We'd go from being a very bad fast break offense to a very good transition
Yeah.
offense. I think
Oh,
is that.
exciting, fun, and that's the challenging part is okay. And this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time.
Sure.
So it's like the last question then is, should we get him? Should we give him a lot of money, free agent, and then bring him in? Is this somebody that you want?
I'm gonna ask you this question too. I, I don't I don't want it. It doesn't make sense to me. And no, this is not me being a Wolverine, I promise. I'm going to back this up. Chris, what's the one thing we need more of on this team? We're very athletic. What do we need?
We need shooting.
Okay, is he a good shooter?
Mm,
Not really.
no. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, a career what, 32, 33, 34% shooter
yep.
maybe from deep. And I understand shooting comes in more forms than that, but he's not a great shooter. Charlotte had some awful, awful defensive lapses in that. And if based on what I'm hearing and things like that, whether it's beat writers from the Hornets, people who are around Charlotte basketball, because I'm not watching it every single night, they are being like, okay, is it Miles Bridges? Is he the problem? Or is he just kind of a symptom? Right. And
Mm-hmm.
the answer to that is yes. In other words, it's a little bit of both. I don't think defensively he's quite there yet. He's one of those guys. It's kind of like we talk about with Ivy. Is his defense going to match the athleticism he has on the offensive end? And it just hasn't yet. So now all of a sudden you have four guys possibly in a starting lineup other than Sadiq Bey that are all sub league average 3-point shooters. That's a problem.
Yeah. And it just feels like this feels like a Troy Weaver not gonna fall for it moment to me.
Yeah.
Like Troy Weaver, I just like you said earlier, kind of half jokingly, Troy Weaver is just developing this athletic team. That's what kind of came to us, or that's what he went and got in the draft. But I think where he can pick and choose, I don't think he's gonna go out, spend big money on a lock-in deal with a not a great shooter, because it's
Right.
like we don't need that. And when I listened to his press conference when we got Ivy and Duran, he's like, hey, that's part of the next step
Right.
is how do we get the next pieces that fit and complete the team? And I don't think this guy completes the team. He adds athleticism. That's awesome. But do you get us a well-rounded, basketball team in the modern NBA, which that's what really makes Ivy so exciting. Cade, all of our athleticism, being able to create, make things happen, but that ultimate, I'm going to make things happen and kick it to a shooter would just be, oh man, that's like basketball that you just think make it look easy versus I kick it to him and it's like, it's just,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
tough to do. Yep.
Yeah. And I think when you look at it too, like you'd be doing Ivy a disservice, I think, if you went out and got Bridges after that, because his best asset is getting to the hoop. Well, that's Bridges' best asset too. Now, Bridges usually does it more off the dribble than on, back cuts, things like that. But he's not going to free the key. He's not going to free the lane. So he's not going to keep that open and spread it out. So, I mean, like when you have Ivy, who's a guy who his best thing as a rookie, his translatable skill right away is getting to the basket, like his athleticism, getting to the basket. And all of a sudden you put Bridges out there and it's like, okay, it's another guy who, finishes at the hoop and, uses as athleticism. And so I'm not that high on it. Like he's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. And it's frustrating playing against him, but like, I just don't think he fits this team right now.
Yes, that's the whole thing, right? And we don't want to go off course to our trajectory. You and I keep talking about it like, hey, we're on the right path, and we know we're a few years away from really competing or whatever. It doesn't matter. We just love where we're headed, and he feels like it might work, it may not. And I just don't think Troy Weaver is playing that game right now. It's like it's so hard to trade away every single player on the team just a couple of years ago to get to the point we are now. I just don't know that he is going to do this. So we'll see.
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think he will.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if it's like, wow, you guys are totally wrong. We need Miles Bridges.
If we like drafted Benedict Mathurin right with the 5th pick and you got a floor spacer and an athlete in that respect, like would I say Miles Bridges would be a fit? Absolutely. Especially because we traded away Grant. Like go get him. That's a fantastic pickup. I still don't think he's necessarily worth the money that he's going to get, but I think we have another video that's going to be coming out probably tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about a different trade package with the Hornets where we basically are doing a trade with them where we take back a couple of contracts that allow them to re-sign Bridges. And I think that would actually help us out more now. Like you've said, hey, we got Jalen Duren, we have Bagley. These are our jumpy jump guys. We've got Ivy. That's our get to the hoop guy. We've got Cade who's going to run the show. Like, I just don't understand why you'd go spend big money on Bridges now when it's like, how about we just develop the young guys?
Yeah.
And don't bring in another guy who does the same thing they do.
Absolutely. And let's get creative with shooters. And I think that's the final piece. And if we add a shooter, we'll really get excited. And so let us know in the comments. Maybe we're missing this, but it just feels like he's got a nice name. He's exciting to watch, but it doesn't fit what we're doing right now. Make sure you subscribe as well. And we will see all of you on the next one.